And now it gives me great pleasure to welcome to the conference His Excellency Mohamed Aslam, Minister of Housing and Environment of Republic of Maldives. Your Excellency, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Mr. Vice President. Excellencies, distinguished representatives, ladies and gentlemen. To begin with, let me express my thanks and full support to the Mexican presidency for overseeing such a well-run, open and transparent conference of the parties here in Cancun. Excellencies, distinguished delegates, given the short time slot we have to make our statements here, let me get straight down to business. There's much talk about numbers here in Cancun. We already know which numbers are necessary to ensure our survival. And we know the numbers necessary for the survival of other small island states and the Maldives, which are threatened by coral bleaching, ocean acidification, saltwater intrusion, coastal erosion, and sea level rise. Those numbers are that the carbon concentration in the atmosphere must remain below 350 parts per million, and the temperature rise should not exceed 1.5 degrees Celsius. These numbers are strongly backed by science. I would also like to pick up another area of concern to small island developing states. Small island states are a special category of nations. Nations that have done little or nothing to cause the climate crisis, but who stand to be hit first and hit hardest. These nations need particular adaptation support. Let me give you one example why. The Maldives is a nation of 1,200 tiny islands. None of our islands are higher than 2 meters above the sea level. The total land area sums up to 300 square kilometers. The total length of the shoreline of these islands sum up to 644 kilometers. Now, if you unwind the shoreline and stretch it, and then put the 300 square kilometers behind the 644 kilometers of shoreline, you end up with a narrow strip of coastline which has just less than half a kilometer of land behind it. So we, the Maldives, and most small island states like the Maldives are essentially coastlines. They are not big land masses. And the price tag for protecting the long coastline from the rising seas is estimated in the Maldives to be over $3 billion. And that is a lot of money for a country which has just 350,000 people. Therefore, it is imperative that small island states are treated as a special category, given our existential vulnerability and climate change. Therefore, we expect this conference to result in a strong outcome on adaptation for the survival of Maldives and every other small island low-lying state. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, during Copenhagen, we made every effort to keep the process alive. And despite its failings, I believe the accord was an important step forward. In it, our leaders gave a political commitment to many important issues in the climate negotiations. It was for the first time in these negotiations, all major emitters submitted pledges to take substantial action on mitigation. These pledges, however, still sit in legal limbo. Our most important task now is to anchor them all into a legal instrument which captures their progress, but also ensures that they can be made more ambitious in future as we begin the serious transition to a low-carbon world. Thank you very much, Mr. President.
I would like to thank His Excellency Mr. Mohamed Aslam for his statement.